After 6 months away on business, Wang Yu returned home, and Liu Fan immediately demanded a child. The sudden request instantly made him suspicious. Could she already be pregnant? Was she trying to pass off another man's child as his? After all, he had been gone for months. She could bring other men home without him ever knowing. So the next day, Wang Yu secretly installed cameras throughout the apartment to test his wife's loyalty. Then he invented a last-minute business trip and checked into the hotel directly across the street. From there, he watched the apartment on his phone. For 3 straight days, Liu Fan behaved completely normally. But on the 4th day, she dressed beautifully and went out smiling. He instantly suspected she was meeting a lover. He zoomed in with his phone and watched the residential complex's front gate. Soon she appeared and Wang Yu discreetly followed. Yet she only walked into a market. He sighed with relief, wondering whether he had judged his wife unfairly. An hour later, she returned laden with groceries. He returned to the hotel and kept watching. On screen, she set down the bags, grabbed her phone and called someone. "How long until you get here?" "3 more hours, all right, understood." Who was coming to his home? His heart raced as he stared at the screen through the longest 3 hours of his life. Then someone suddenly knocked at the door. Liu Fan rushed to answer, beaming, as a man entered the camera's view. Wang Yu froze when he recognized the visitor, Liu Fan's boss. Watching them talk, laugh, and eat like an old married couple made his head feel ready to explode. He desperately wanted to storm inside and beat them both senseless. But reason finally took control. He still needed undeniable proof. Half an hour later, they finished eating and headed toward the bedroom together. Although rage boiled inside him, Wang Yu's face remained utterly expressionless. Then he smiled with bitter resignation. He had worked relentlessly to provide her stability. He had struggled desperately to save the 200,000 down payment, buy an apartment, and finally marry. 1 year later, she betrayed him anyway. As he watched the revolting footage, a cold smile slowly spread across his face. He closed the app, inserted a new SIM card, and called the police. "Hello, I need to report an emergency. The address is Eugene Garden, Building 6, Apartment 703. A woman seems under attack. I can hear muffled cries for help, please come quickly. Delay and her life may be endangered. Please keep me anonymous, I am afraid the attacker may retaliate." After ending the police call, Wang Yu immediately contacted a local news outlet. "I have a huge scoop, a serious assault is happening at Eugene Garden. Come immediately." Before they could ask questions, he hung up. He lit a cigarette in his car. "Liu Fan, I am risking my reputation too. We will have fun together." He reopened the sickening footage and murmured while watching it. "A plain face and less attractive than me. But he owns a company, so he probably has more money, Liu Fan. If you betrayed our family for him, then I truly was blind." Soon afterward, several police cars raced into the residential complex. As officers went upstairs, the neighbors began gathering outside. Then the reporter arrived with a cameraman. Wang Yu's smile grew even more vicious. Laughing tears slipped from his eyes. About half an hour later, the police escorted Liu Fan and Zeng Bea dressed again toward a patrol car. Reporters hidden in the crowd took photographs, while onlookers raised their phones to film everything. "I heard it was a home assault. That man is disgusting, stop talking nonsense." "Where did you hear that? I know. She lives directly above me. Her husband is constantly away for work. Whenever he is gone, I often hear those noises upstairs. They were obviously having an affair." "Oh, I know about that too. I wanted a chance to warn her husband. After this, her husband will probably lose his mind. Wang Yu knew the pair had now become infamous. Meanwhile, everyone would see him as the helpless victim. His objective was achieved. He only had to await police notifying her family. He eagerly imagined her expression when she finally faced him. Back at the hotel, Wang Yu received a police call. This is Anju City Police. Is this Mr. Wang? Satisfaction touched his lips. But he answered in feigned confusion, yes, what happened? We received an emergency report claiming your wife had been assaulted. He interrupted immediately. Wait, are you saying something happened to my wife? You must have the wrong person. Is this some kind of telephone scam? Sir, please try to calm down. My wife is Liu Fan. Are you sure it is her? How is she? After being interrupted twice, the officer spoke firmly. Sir, listen to me first. Your wife was not assaulted. Wang Yu feigned relief. Thank goodness. Liu Fan is safe, but she has been unfaithful. Our investigation found that both people were consenting. The officer's blunt statement left Wang Yu completely silent. For a while, he feigned devastation. Still, being publicly cuckolded was a harsh blow even for Mr. Wang. Mr. Wang, are you all right? We know this is difficult to accept, but you must stay strong. Bitterness colored his voice. I am fine. The news is simply so sudden. I must process this. By the way, you did not tell my in-laws, did you? They are elderly and frail. They could not bear it. A heavy silence followed, then the officer apologized. My colleague has just informed them. They are already coming. Wang Yu's lips curled slightly. Feigning panic, he cried, I am coming immediately. He hung up, tossed his phone aside, and lay flat on the bed. Liu Fan, let us see you face your parents now. Your father has heart problems, does he not? Hopefully your betrayal will not give him a heart attack. With a cold chuckle, Wang Yu considered exactly how he should perform next. Only at 11 that night did he visit the police station. Leaving his car, he adopted a completely panicked expression. He rushed into the observation room, barely concealing his supposedly furious expression. Liu Fan sat on a chair, staring blankly ahead. When she saw Wang Yu, she lowered her head in shame. He gently took her hand. She pulled away, but he held it tightly. Darling, was I simply never good enough for you? Liu Fan remained silent, head lowered. At that moment, Wang Yu's phone rang. He checked the screen. Her parents were calling. You may refuse to speak to me, but decide what you will tell them. Wang Yu stepped aside and answered, what happened? Dad's heart has failed again. I am bringing Liu Fan, see you soon. He turned and found Liu Fan still frozen in place. What are you waiting for? Moves. Your father was hospitalized. We will discuss our problems at home. While driving, Wang Yu lowered the window, let the icy wind strike him, then suddenly asked, could you already be pregnant? Liu Fan silently stared at the passing scenery. If we stay together, you will have an abortion. I do not believe that child is mine, and I will never raise another man's baby. Liu Fan remained sealed inside her silence. The disasters were probably too much for her to bear at once. At the city hospital, Wang Yu found his mother-in-law, Li Qiuhua, and Liu Fan's uncle outside emergency surgery. He hurried toward them, his voice trembling with apparent fear. Mom, how is Dad? Is his life in danger? Li Qiuhua gripped his hands, her face consumed by guilt. Zio Wang, I am terribly sorry. We raised her badly and brought you shame. Please forgive us, Mom, we can discuss that later. Dad's surgery has not been paid for yet, right? I will handle it. Li Qiuhua grabbed his arm, deeply ashamed. Xiao Wang, after this, how could we possibly use your money? Mom, you and Dad always treated me as your son. I am an orphan, you taught me a family's warmth. Even without my marriage to Liu Fan, paying is only right. Wang Yu gently freed his hand and walked toward the payment desk. His mother-in-law watched him leave, too ashamed and hesitant to speak. Then she slowly approached Liu Fan. Liu Fan lowered her eyes and timidly whispered, "Moms, do not call me moms. I have no shameless, immoral daughter like you." Li Qiuhua raised her hand, slapping Liu Fan. You had a wonderful husband like Xiao Wang, yet still did this. Think carefully how you will explain yourself. Liu Fan grabbed her mother's hands, sobbing. Mom, please, I completely lost my mind. Forgive me just this once. Li Qiuhua shoved her away, left her in the corner, and watched the operating room doors. After paying, Wang Yu returned and found Liu Fan completely ignored in the corner. A faint mocking smile brushed his lips. He ignored her too and went to comfort his mother-in-law. Mom, do not worry, Dad will survive. I paid everything. If more is needed later, I will cover it. Li Qiuhua felt deeply ashamed yet moved. Xiao Wang, our family has wronged you. Even if you divorce her, we understand. We will repay every medical expense quickly. Mom, we will discuss everything at home. At that moment, Liu Fan hesitated briefly. She approached slowly, then suddenly dropped to her knees. Her voice broken by tears, she begged, Darling, I am sorry. I know I made a terrible mistake. Please forgive me this once, I swear. I swear it will never happen again. Wang Yu kept a grim face and pretended to help her stand. We are in a hospital. This discussion can wait until home. But Liu Fan clutched his legs, wailing. Her mother leapt up and struck the back of her head again. Get up, we are in a hospital. Have you not humiliated this family enough already? Liu Fan stared at her mother in disbelief. She hoped to exploit her mother's presence. Play victim and force Wang Yu's forgiveness. One vague promise would have given her hope. She never expected her own mother to refuse supporting her. Quiet mockery passed through Wang Yu's mind. He saw through everything. A man indifferent to reputation had no reason to care. What his mother-in-law thought. Hours later, his father-in-law finally left surgery. Feigning understanding, Wang Yu told his mother-in-law, Mom, Uncle, you stayed awake all night. Please go home and rest. I will remain beside him, she refused. Xiao Wang. You stayed awake too, go home and rest. Besides, you and Liu Fan must settle matters between yourselves. Wang Yu stopped insisting and left the hospital with Liu Fan. Once home, she immediately knelt before Wang Yu. Darling, I did something terrible. I swear it will never happen again, disgust flashed through Wang Yu's eyes. Was I no longer enough, or was loneliness consuming you? Darling, I truly understand my mistake. I promise and swear that it will never happen again. And you truly expect me to believe those promises? He knew she was not entirely responsible. His constant business trips left an attractive woman like her surrounded by eager admirers. And Liu Fan desperately wanted someone to discover her intimately. Darling, please give me one final chance. I will make amends, I will resign tomorrow. I will stay home and devote myself entirely to you. All I want is your forgiveness. Wang Yu pushed her away, then raised his fist and swung. Terrified, Liu Fan squeezed her eyes shut. But his fist stopped without making contact. He restrained himself and gently caressed her cheek with extraordinary tenderness. I never once raised my voice at you. How could I ever strike you? Liu Fan threw herself into his arms, sobbing. Darling, please, you must forgive me. Do not divorce me, let us start over. Wang Yu answered, we will judge by your behavior. Forgiving you now would make me the ultimate cuckold. Hearing that, Liu Fan nearly exploded with joy. She clung desperately to Wang Yu's arm. I swear I will be perfect and never disappoint you again. He neither officially forgave her nor demanded an immediate divorce. He preserved her hope because his plan remained unfinished. Wang Yu carried her toward the bedroom, then froze at the bed. Liu Fan understood immediately and slipped from his arms. Darling, do not look. I will replace this bed immediately. Ignoring her, he walked onto the balcony. Knowing he needed air, she did not follow him. She personally called workers to remove the furniture. Even with new furniture, Wang Yu had no desire to touch her again. The next noon, he brought food to her parents at the hospital. After arranging the meals, Li Qiuhua frowned and asked him, where is Liu Fan? She remained outside. Seeing her angers Dad, so she was afraid to enter. If she truly cared about him, she would never have acted so shamefully. Wang Yu merely smiled without appearing offended. While his father-in-law ate, he sat beside the bed watching over him. For an instant, Wang Yu thought the old man's fingers moved slightly. Then he noticed his eyes were open and rushed closer in apparent concern. Dad, you are finally awake. Are you hurting anywhere? Li Qiuhua and Uncle Wencheng also hurried forward. Outside, Liu Fan looked in but remained too frightened to enter. Li Qiuhua anxiously asked, how do you feel, dear? Does anything hurt? Liu Huyan gave no answer. He scanned the room sternly, remained completely silent, then finally snorted with anger. Wonderful, truly wonderful. My own daughter is even less dependable than the son-in-law she betrayed. I nearly died, yet she cannot even visit me. Dad, she is outside. She fears seeing your anger, so she does not dare enter. Tell her to come here now. Li Qiuhua nodded toward Wang Yu. He went outside and brought Liu Fan inside. Seeing her father's stern face, she lowered her head and whispered fearfully, Dads, do not call me Dads. I have no daughter like you. Liu Fan dropped to her knees, crying. Dad, I know I was wrong, please stop being angry. Wang Yu inwardly sighed at how practiced she was at kneeling. Liu Huyan struggled to rise, but he lacked the strength. He surrendered and faced Wang Yu. Xiao Wang, slap her for me. Wang Yu froze, momentarily uncertain how to respond. He wanted to strike her but suspected a test. When Wang Yu did not move, his father-in-law challenged him again. What, you cannot even bring yourself to strike a woman? Are you a man or not? Those words ignited Wang Yu's buried rage. He looked at Liu Fan trembling on her knees. Then at his father-in-law and the old man's piercing, troubled eyes. The room was silent enough to hear each IV drop. Test or not, they were the ones ordering him to strike her. He would strike first and worry later. Wang Yu raised his hand, glaring at Liu Fan. His heartbeat instantly reached 180. Liu Fan closed her eyes, lashes trembling. Li Qiuhua turned away as Uncle Wencheng released a weary sigh. Yet his hand stopped abruptly in midair. Instead of striking Liu Fan, it descended gently and patted her shoulder. She erred, but she remains the woman I married. If I slap her, our relationship will truly be over. His sincerity nearly brought tears to his eyes. Liu Fan looked up in disbelief, large tears streaming down her cheeks. Liu Huyan froze briefly, then released a long sigh. His sternness softened, revealing exhaustion, sorrow, and shame. Xiao Wang, please understand. Our Liu family has treated you terribly. Wang Yu shook his head and poured water. With his back turned, however, his face showed neither compassion nor pity. All tenderness burned away with that surveillance footage. Only icy schemes and anticipation of revenge now filled his heart. 1 week later, his father-in-law left the hospital to recover. Claiming it would simplify care, Wang Yu invited him to stay temporarily. Naturally, she did not dare object. Liu Fan was too moved to find words. Life seemed to settle back into calm. Wang Yu worked normally and even treated Liu Fan much more gently. She resigned. As promised, she spent every day cooking, washing clothes, cleaning and caring cautiously. For Wang Yu and her parents, at night she slept in the guest room on the replacement bed. Wang Yu never entered that room. She believed her penance had begun and that obedience would eventually erase everything. She was naive. Wang Yu's counterattack had only begun. Through carefully written anonymous complaints and quietly circulating rumors, he exposed Zeng Bea affair with an employee's wife and his public arrest, spreading the scandal throughout the man's entire industry. His struggling company already survived solely through a few major clients. Conveniently, the project manager for his largest client was Wang Yu's former college roommate. 1 week later, Zeng Bea lost his largest order, instantly draining the company's cash flow. 3 days later, tax and commerce inspectors arrived for an extraordinarily thorough audit. Completely desperate, Zeng Bea called everyone he knew and begged for help. Naturally, he also tried contacting Liu Fan. But Wang Yu was already monitoring all her communications. Each time Zeng Bea called, Liu Fan reacted as though seeing a poisonous snake. Terrified, she immediately hung up and blocked him, reviewing the intercepted call logs and message notifications on his phone. Wang Yu smiled, selected the most useful details and captured screenshots. One evening at dinner, he casually mentioned, "An old colleague said Zeng Bea company is close to bankruptcy. Creditors are hounding him. Apparently he looks completely pathetic." The hand Liu Fan used to serve soup began shaking violently. Broth spilled over the bowl. Liu Fan's face immediately turned dark. Liu Fan slammed down his chopsticks. He deserves it. Such an immoral scoundrel deserves everything happening to him. Xiao Wang stopped mentioning that filth. Hearing his name dirties our ears. "You are right, Dad. Good and evil always receive their proper reward. When judgment arrives, nobody escapes." Wang Yu smiled gently and placed vegetables into his bowl. Pale-faced, Liu Fan kept her head lowered and remained silent throughout dinner. Deep that night, Wang Yu sat at his computer and entered an encrypted cloud account. It contained encrypted backup surveillance videos, complete communication records, call histories, message archives, and every piece of evidence he had gathered about Zeng Bea company's financial schemes. Enough to destroy his standing in the industry. Despite possible legal trouble, Wang Yu did not release everything immediately. Destroying someone instantly was satisfying, but watching the prey sink slowly into despair and struggle hopelessly was far more entertaining, so Wang Yu waited. He waited for Liu Fan's final mistake. He consulted a lawyer about divorce and property division. The surveillance recordings he supplied were devastating evidence. Though they invaded privacy, the court would likely admit them as proof of adultery. Because Liu Fan was the guilty spouse, the lawyer believed Wang Yu could leave her nearly penniless and homeless. Wang Yu told him not to file yet. He wanted far more than a divorce. The lawyer looked puzzled, but Wang Yu offered no explanation. Some punishments exceeded the law's reach, so he would administer them personally. He therefore drafted a formal agreement. It was not a divorce agreement, but a marital property separation and fidelity pledge. It stated that because Liu Fan had gravely violated her marital duty of faithfulness, she voluntarily surrendered every jointly acquired asset from their marriage. Most importantly, all rights to the apartment would become Wang Yu's exclusive property. She also agreed that any further infidelity or harm to the family's interests would require her to pay enormous financial damages. Wang Yu threw down the agreement. Sign it. She read the clauses with trembling lips. Darling, we saved together for the down payment on this apartment. We both paid the mortgage after marriage. I contributed 170,000 of the 200,000 down payment. And my salary account pays the mortgage. You spent your money mainly on clothes, makeup, and secret. Restaurant dates with Zeng Bea Cheng, did you not? Should I calculate every expense for you? His calm voice cut like a blade. Liu Fan collapsed back into her chair. If I sign, will you forgive me? Liu Fan, do you really think you can negotiate? Sign it, prove that you genuinely regret everything. Perhaps then we can preserve some dignity between us. Refuse and you can pack your belongings and leave immediately. See whether your parents still accept you. Then discover how a penniless woman with a ruined reputation survives. She remembered her parents' icy expressions at the hospital. She remembered the neighbors whispering and Zeng Bea Cheng in his own pathetic condition. Unable to save himself, finally she understood that the once obedient husband before her had long ago woven a web from which she could never escape. Her fingers shook so badly that she dropped the pen before signing her name. Then added her fingerprint. Tomorrow we will formally transfer the apartment. Seeing her funeral-like expression filled Wang Yu with cold, intense satisfaction. But it was not enough. He innocently leaked the entire police and media incident to the neighborhood's biggest gossip, adding even juicier and more sordid details. So the tale would spread everywhere in that version. Liu Fan became a shameless seductress who could not endure loneliness and pursued her boss. Zeng Bea Cheng became a predator who abused his authority over subordinates. Meanwhile, Wang Yu appeared as an honest, deeply wounded husband still clinging to his first love, and even willing to forgive his repentant wife. Public opinion erupted completely against them. Liu Fan barely dared leave the apartment. Whenever buying groceries, she covered herself completely and hurried straight home. Local scandal posts and sensational articles even began appearing online. Though names and locations were hidden, everyone familiar with them understood immediately. Her social death was now complete. One Sunday afternoon, her parents went to visit friends. He called Liu Fan outside. Zeng tried contacting you again yesterday. He messaged your old number begging you for old time's sake to lend him money through this crisis. Wang Yu waved his phone. I forwarded every call from your old number to mine long ago. Liu Fan instantly turned deathly pale. That is impossible. I blocked all those contacts long ago. Darling, please believe me this time. I believe you. You did not answer him, but where there is smoke, there is fire. The opening you left will always draw that filth back. Wang Yu stepped closer and stared into her terrified eyes. You know what I have thought deeply lately? Perhaps everything would have been different if we had a child. Would motherhood have made you behave responsibly? A tiny hope suddenly lit Liu Fan's eyes. She desperately clutched Wang Yu's sleeve. Darling, we can do it. We can have a baby now. I swear I will be a good mother and love our child enough to atone. Really? He gently removed her hand, his voice turning icy. Unfortunately, I no longer want one. Especially after imagining you may have carried another man's bastard. The thought that his traces might remain inside you makes me sick, Liu Fan. You will never deserve to mother my children. My family's bloodline will never be tainted by you. Those cruel words completely shattered her final psychological defense. Liu Fan collapsed onto the floor, empty and too exhausted even to cry, staring blankly as though her soul was gone. That was precisely Wang Yu's goal: crush every remaining scrap of dignity and hope. From then on, she would inhabit the prison he had built. She would become an empty shell without money, honor, friends, prospects, or even hope of motherhood. Her beloved parents would serve as Wang Yu's most loyal prison guards. Their guilt toward him and shame toward their daughter would let him play the magnanimous, quietly suffering husband while preserving superficial family harmony. Meanwhile, Liu Fan would suffer a long, painful sentence every day for her brief pleasure. Wang Yu turned and left her alone on the balcony, immersed in endless cold despair. Outside, however, the sun still shone brightly. A sincerely delighted smile finally spread across his lips. He expected the game's next phase. A tedious stretch of punishment, but his prey added another act herself, 3 months later. Zeng flattered a patron, "Your presence truly brightens this place. I prepared this tea especially for you. Your pleasure makes every effort worthwhile." He received enough capital to rescue the company, but also used new connections to secure 2 supporting government projects. He divorced, paid dearly, and permanently escaped his former wife's family. Now he drove a far more luxurious car and frequented much more exclusive places. Proud and triumphant once more. News of his recovery spread astonishingly fast. While Liu Fan washed dishes in the kitchen, Wang Yu casually played a local financial bulletin about several branches launching major new projects. The clattering bowls and ceramic plates suddenly stopped. Liu Fan's back stiffened, and her fingers began trembling slightly. Wang Yu saw foolish hope return. Old habits always return eventually. Some people hit a wall and decide the wall, rather than their path, is wrong. He lowered the phones. Then he placed it aside. Since they insisted on continuing the performance, he would carry it through to its grand finale. First, Wang Yu pretended his company required frequent, short business trips lasting 2 or 3 days each. Before leaving, he deliberately told Liu Fan, "Take good care of Mom and Dad. Do not disappoint me again," he added with weary, carefully measured trust. He knew that after leaving, every communication Liu Fan considered secret, including every call made and message received, would secretly synchronize onto Wang Yu's phone in real time. As expected, Zeng Bea Cheng's number soon appeared, again and again in the synchronized records. At first, Liu Fan did not dare answer, but someone suppressing herself for so long desperately needed an emotional release. On Wang Yu's 3rd trip, she finally answered with trembling hands, "I know you suffered. Does that bastard torment you every day? I have money now, I can protect you. Leave him, join me, and we will start again. Do not lie, I have nothing left now." "How could I lie? Everything I am doing is for you. I already threw that old woman aside. Come and you will become Mrs. Zeng. Meet me tomorrow afternoon at our usual place. I brought a gift to comfort you." Their usual place was a suburban location Wang Yu quickly identified. A discreet suburban hot springs resort. He had long sought a chance to destroy Zeng. From the opposite hotel, he studied synchronized call records and the pending hotel reservation confirmation being generated before him. He smiled and dialed another number. "Brother Lee, remember our discussion about Shanda's fraudulent construction materials used throughout the EXE project? We can make that case explode. I have internal documents accidentally leaked by their own employees. Purchase orders and test reports, I will send them immediately. Also, Director Zeng seems to have extremely questionable private habits. Tomorrow afternoon at Yunding Hot Springs, another business negotiation may occur. That should interest your scandal reporters, should it not?" The answering voice belonged to a media contact Wang Yu had bought off long ago. Your honored presence is our greatest joy. The wealthy heiress's business rival had long searched for a chance to crush her. Wang Yu anticipated the wealthy rival's wishes and graciously handed over the perfect opening to attack. Tomorrow afternoon at Yunding Hot Springs, there may be another private negotiation. Your scandal reporters should find it interesting, right? The person on the line was Wang Yu's longtime media contact. Zeng Bea believed clinging to a wealthy woman had made him untouchable. He never knew her rival had long searched for an opportunity to destroy her. Wang Yu merely provided crucial ammunition at the perfect moment and revealed Zeng's movements. Liu Fan dressed carefully. She went to the meeting with an escapee's excitement and the courage of desperation. She never knew 3 groups followed her from home. Wang Yu's private investigator paid scandal reporters and men working for Zeng Bea, whom Zeng had positioned to record secret evidence. Wang Yu could easily guess what Zeng intended. He wanted to use Liu Fan, control her, and later blackmail her or torment Wang Yu. Liu Fan had carefully prepared herself, driven by the excitement of escaping her cage, and the resolve of someone with nothing left. She never realized 3 teams followed her. Wang Yu's investigator, his purchased paparazzi, and Zeng Bea's own crew, who had been ordered to film secret evidence. Wang Yu already suspected exactly what Zeng was planning. Zeng wanted to play with Liu Fan, keep her under control, and eventually use blackmail to threaten her or even disgust Wang Yu. They entered the room. From the building opposite, Wang Yu's investigator aimed a long telephoto lens and recorded everything while reporters hid throughout the lobby and parking lot. At first, it resembled old lovers rekindling a consuming passion. But the situation quickly took a disastrous turn. Zeng no longer resembled that tender man. His movements were brutal and his words humiliating. Stop pretending you are innocent. Do you still think you are the little secretary who once excited me? You are garbage now. A cheap toy Wang Yu used and discarded. Without you, do you think I would have fallen so catastrophically? Do you know how disgusting it was sleeping with that old woman just to recover? This is all your damned fault. No. Bea, I love you, I swear. Please do not hit me, love, it is my money you love. Let me tell you something, I am filthy rich now. But you only deserve to remain my secret little plaything. Obey me and satisfy me, and perhaps I will give you spending money. But cause trouble and I will release every photograph and video, sending them to your husband. That magnanimous husband and your parents. Let the entire city admire your shamelessness. The images and sounds that followed were simply unbearable. Zeng Bea poured all his rage over bankruptcy and wounded pride directly onto Liu Fan. Her initial excitement became terror, then hopeless numbness. All within one afternoon, watching the live feed from behind his screen. Wang Yu remained calm and nearly laughed. This is the love and support you chose after betraying everyone. Just as Zeng prepared to leave proudly, someone knocked at the door. Outside stood not only hotel security, but reporters who had come hunting scandal. Camera flashes suddenly erupted. Zeng Bea's disheveled, terrified face and Liu Fan's crumpled figure, huddled miserably in a corner, were permanently captured. Meanwhile, online accusations involving Shanda, defective construction work, safety violations, and fraudulent project materials, financial fraud, and Zeng Bea's chaotic private life erupted across the internet. The second shock wave hit far harder. The wealthy heiress immediately announced their separation and withdrew her investment. She cut every tie, and Zeng's newly rebuilt house of cards collapsed within a single day. Even more brutally than before. He would never recover. Liu Fan returned home humiliated, with unmistakable bruises across her face. Her eyes empty and her mind completely lost. Zeng's abuse, the terror of discovery, and 2 online scandals had utterly destroyed her. Wang Yu's in-laws had already seen local news alerts on their phones. The footage was blurred, but they clearly recognized their daughter in the monumental scandal. The atmosphere inside the apartment became terrifyingly heavy. The moment Liu Fan entered, her father Liu Hujin suddenly sprang upright. He clutched his chest as his face turned purple. Unable to speak, he collapsed directly onto the floor. "Dad! My husband, oh no!" Everyone panicked again and desperately called emergency services. But this time Liu Hujin never awakened. A massive cardiac arrest defeated all resuscitation. The patient suffered a catastrophic cardiac arrest. "We did everything possible but could not save him. Our deepest condolences to your family." Li Qiuhua repeatedly fainted from overwhelming grief. Pointing at Liu Fan, she screamed in a broken voice, "Get out. You are no longer my daughter, you killed your fathers. I never want to see you again." Liu Fan was thrown into the street. Her parents' home rejected her, and Wang Yu now legally owned their apartment. She had nothing. Her reputation was destroyed, and mentally she stood near total collapse. Throughout everything, Wang Yu performed as the tragic husband betrayed a second time. And devastated by his father-in-law's death, he arranged an exemplary funeral while consoling his mother-in-law crushed by grief. She insisted upon returning to live in her former home. Facing Liu Fan's pitiful condition, Wang Yu showed only freezing coldness and absolute indifference. "Liu Fan, our accounts are settled. You are free. Go live your great loves. But never forget you chose all of this." Those words delivered the final blow. Liu Fan began suffering severe auditory and visual hallucinations. She imagined people following and insulting her. She feared Zeng would kill her and her parents cursed her. Eventually, she wandered the streets in complete madness. When she attacked a hallucination of Zeng, the police restrained her. After psychiatric evaluation, doctors diagnosed severe schizophrenia and committed her involuntarily to the city's psychiatric hospital. Wang Yu visited once. Through thick glass, he saw her restrained, staring vacantly and muttering words nobody could understand. She sometimes screamed or giggled foolishly, unable to recognize anyone. Zeng Bea suffered an even worse fate. His career destroyed, facing numerous charges and creditors surrounding his home. Everyone betrayed and abandoned him until he finally disappeared without a trace. Rumors said he hid somewhere remote and survived in misery. Thus, Wang Yu's